Hi, this is Rajesh Pandey. Welcome back to our episode 2 of Inside Executive Search. In our last episode, we explored what executive search really means and how it's less about filling jobs and more about shaping futures. Today, I want to take you behind the curtain. Let's talk about how a headhunter actually finds the one. How do we discover a leader who not only looks right on paper but fits right in reality? Welcome to the art of search. How we find leaders who fit. Every search begins with a conversation, but more than that, it begins by listening. When a company reaches out to us, it's rarely about a vacancy. It's about a need for change, a transformation, a new growth, sometimes even a turnaround. Our first job isn't to talk, it's to listen deeply. We ask three simple yet powerful questions. What is changing in your business? What kind of a leader will make that change possible? And how will success be defined once that leader is onboarded? Because the truth is a great search doesn't start with a job description. It starts with ambition, the ambition of a company, the culture, and the future it wishes to build. Once the brief is clear, the real work begins. We don't dive into databases, we dive into the context. Which industries are facing similar challenges? Which companies have solved these challenges and problems before? And where might we find adjacent talent? People who have walked a parallel path. This stage is part search, part intuition. We look beyond titles and industries because leadership doesn't always wear the same uniform. Let me share a quick story with you guys. Last year, we were helping a FMCG regulated industry to build its government relations function. You would think we would look in FMCG firms or consumer facing firms for this talent. But the person we eventually found came from a gaming industry, someone who understood and has been explaining the nuances and complexity of new tech to the government. It turned out to be a perfect fit. That's the beauty of research. You connect dots others don't even see. Once we have mapped the universe of potential candidates, we start reaching out. But this part is delicate because senior leaders aren't waiting for our call, and most of them are not even looking for a change. So, our first conversation is never about a job, it's about a possibility. We don't sell roles, we build curiosity. We talk about the clients, the challenges, its journey, the impact the role can create. We listen and gather hints for motivation, for readiness, for purpose. And through that process, trust begins to form. Executive search is built on trust between us and the client, between us and the candidates, and often between two sides who haven't even met yet. Now comes the hardest part, evaluation. This is where the art truly lies. We look at what we call the three fits. Competency fit. Can this person actually do the job? Cultural fit. Will they thrive in this environment? Context fit. Is this the right time for them and for the company? We use data references and behavioral interviews, but we also rely on something which I call a headhunter's intuitive abilities. I've seen brilliant resumes fail because the leaders didn't align with the culture. I've seen unconventional profiles succeed spectacularly because the chemistry just clicked. It's in these conversations that we uncover layers and we see who someone really is. Once a leader is selected, the work doesn't stop. In fact, that's where the real test begins. A good search partner stays involved through the offer, through transition, and even the first 100 days. Onboarding is where intentions become reality. If the integration fails, the entire search fails. We often say a placement isn't successful when the candidate joins. It's successful when the company begins to change for the better. The art of the search is a dance between science and instincts, between data and intuition, between ambition and humility. Every search is a story of a company in transition, a leader stepping into a new chapter. And in our next episode, we will explore something equally fascinating: why great leaders sometimes fail and what we can learn from it. Because finding the right leader is one thing, but helping them succeed, that's true test of executive search. Thank you for listening and see you in the next episode. Signing off, Rajesh.